N- Narcotics Anonymous. Narcotics Anonymous is a nonprofit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. Narcotics Anonymous uses a traditional 12-step model that has been expanded and developed for people with various substance abuse issues. Their mission statement is, our mission as an organization is to communicate to addicts in the community that we may be able to help them learn to live drug-free, recover from the effects of drug addiction, and establish stable, productive lifestyles. The program, Narcotics Anonymous, is a NA, I'll be referring to as NA, is a 12-step fellowship program that welcomes people suffering from any drug addiction. It is a program offered to support continued post-rehab. It helps you to stay committed to recovery. All facts and quotes presented in the Narcotics Anonymous program comes from the Narcotics Anonymous basic text. According to the Narcotics Anonymous basic text, the 12 steps are the source of this hope and freedom when worked to the best of one's ability. The basic text, which is divided into two books, Book 1 discusses the basics of the NA program and the 12 steps and traditions. Book 2 is composed of many personal stories. Okay, in the 12 steps, they admit they are powerless over alcohol and drugs, and their lives have become unmanageable. They come to believe that a power greater than themselves can restore them to sanity. They make decisions to turn their will and lives over to the care of God as they understand Him. They make a searching, a fearless moral inventory of themselves. They admit to their higher power and to themselves and to other human beings an exact nature of their wrongs. They are entirely ready to have a higher power remove all these defects of character. They humbly ask their higher power to remove their shortcomings. They make a list of all the persons they have harmed, and became they became willing to make amends to them. They make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when it is injury to them or others. They continue to take personal inventory. When they are wrong, they admit it, seeking through prayer and meditation to improve their conscious contact with their higher power as they understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for them and the power to carry it out. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, they try to carry this message to others and practice these principles in all their affairs. The Step Working Guides is a workbook with questions on each step and is often called the Flat Book. There are two basic types of meetings. There's an open and closed. Anyone is welcome to attend an open meeting, while closed meetings are limited to addicts and to people who think they may have a problem with drugs. Meetings formats vary, but often include time devoted to the reading aloud of the NA literature regarding the issues involved in living life clean, which is written by and for members of NA. Many meetings are conducted by the chairperson who chooses the speakers. Other meetings include an open sharing component where anyone attending has the opportunity to share. There is usually no direct feedback during the share. Therefore, only one person ever speaks at any given time during this portion of the meeting. These types of meetings are sometimes described as speaker discussion meetings. Some groups choose to host a single speaker to share for the majority of the meeting time. Another meeting format includes a round robin. That sharing goes around in a circle. Tag meeting, each speaker picks the next person to share. Some meetings focus on reading, writing, and or sharing about one of the 12 steps or other portions of the NA literature. During the meeting, some groups allow time for the NA related announcements, time to recognize anniversaries or birthdays, or clean time. For certain anniversaries, key tags and medallions are distributed to those who have achieved those milestones. In some areas, the addict who is celebrating a clean anniversary shares some of the celebrating achievements, experiences, strengths, and hopes with the group on how they did it. Narcotics Anonymous owes much of its success to sponsorship. If you have the urge to use drugs, you can call or meet with your sponsor to discuss your cravings. Talking it out can remove the power from cravings. Your NA sponsor is there for you throughout the 12 Steps Fellowship Program and is a source of strength and support. NA meetings usually close with a circle of the participants, a group hug, and a prayer of some sort. Prayers are used to close the meetings today, including the we version of the Serenity Prayer. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The third step, take my will in my life. Guide me in my recovery. Show me how to live. Or the gratitude prayer that no addict seeking recovery need ever die. My gratitude speaks when I care and when I share with others in a way. Some literatures for addicts daily reading is It Works, How and Why, offers detailed discussions on the 12 steps of tradition, and is often called the green and gold. Just for Today is a book of daily meditations and quotes from the basic text and other NA approved literature, including the information pamphlets. Living Clean. The Journey Continues was approved by the World Service Conference in May 2012. It contains members' experience of staying clean and in recovery as they go through challenges in life such as illness, death, parenthood, spiritual paths, and employment. The type of services provided by NA is an outpatient program. It meets a few times a week, which is important to build up a network of sober people. It's an aftercare program. It's a self-help program where sober friends can help you find new social outlets. It helps the addict to understand what they're going through. While working the 12 steps, they receive support and encouragement from fellow members and their individual sponsor. This support helps in assisting them to quit drugs and embrace sobriety. Narcotics Anonymous states in the fifth tradition that each group has but one primary purpose, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. Therefore, the newcomer is considered to be the most important person in the meeting. The NA message is hope, that there is another way to life. The one promise of NA is that an addict, any addict, can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and learn a new way to life. How long the organization has operated? NA originated from the Alcoholics Anonymous program in the mid 1930s and was co founded by Jimmy Kennan. Meetings first emerged in the Los Angeles, California area in the early 1950s. The NA program officially founded in 1953, and it started as a small United States movement that has grown into one of the world's oldest and largest organizations of its type. Miracles Happen is a book that describes the early years of NA organization. This book contains many photos of early literature and meeting places. The organization's clientele is designed where anyone is welcome. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. NA say its meetings are where members can meet regularly to help each other to stay clean. Membership is voluntarily. No attendance records are kept for NA purpose or for others. Each group has one primary purpose, and that is to carry out the message of recovery to the addict who still suffers. One responsibility of the group is to provide an atmosphere of recovery for the newcomer who has the desire to stop using, as well as existing members. The newcomer is considered to be the most important person in any meeting. The NA message is hope, that there is another way to life. The one promise of NA is that an addict, any addict, can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and learn a new way to life. The intake and assessment process. There is no intake or assessment, but in any drug or alcohol recovery process, there are usually 6 steps any addict must take. First, they need to realize that they have a problem and need to make a change. They need to figure out what kind of rehab program is right for them. They have to get support from friends and family and other sober people. They must need to maintain their sobriety. They need to start a bit. They need to start to build a new life and setting life goals. They should not get discouraged if they relapse, but make plans to get their recovery back on track. Yes, Narcotics Anonymous can help you fight cravings. Cravings are a completely normal part of recovery. Even if you do your best to avoid trigger situations, cravings may still occur. There is no case management services. One of the most powerful tools to help people stay sober in NA is the sponsor. This individual is there to offer guidance and support to the, the addict. The sponsor is not only a person to guide the member through the NA program, but to also be there to listen. Being able to rely on a sympathetic ear can be particularly important when the individual feels on the verge of relapse. Choosing the right sponsor is important. Sponsorship is an in-depth discussion of the role of sponsorship in NA, including the personal experiences of members. The NA sponsor fulfills a number of useful functions. This is an individual who will always have more experience in the program than the addict. This means that they will be able to share their wisdom and experience. Most sponsors will let them contact them at any time of the day or night if it's an emergency. The urge to relapse can come at any time, and having somebody to contact can make all the difference. A sponsor can just be a good friend. One of the things that people worry about when they first enter recovery is that they will never be able to form meaningful relationships without their chemical crutch. What they learn is the relationship in sobriety can be stronger than anything they ever experienced previously. One of their most important relationships may be with their sponsor. After all, this is an individual who will offer encouragement and provide praise for achievement. A sponsor should be able to provide honest feedback and be able to spot the warning signs of approaching relapse. They may be able to guide the addict back to safety. The sponsor is someone who can be a good role model and help the addict work their way back through the 12 steps. Narcotics Anonymous is entirely funded by donations. The program is 100% free to join. Members do not pay any hidden fees. Optional collection are taken during the meeting but are not mandatory. Narcotics Anonymous members are not required to pay any dues or fees. NA is committed to being fully self-supporting, declining any outside contributions. Group expenses are covered entirely by voluntary distributions from its members. Group meet costs, such as meeting room rental, tea, coffee, and any literature that the group provides for free from these contributions, after which surplus funds are passed to the service structure. NA members may receive services for this organization. NA is not for people who need it, it's for people who want it. Therefore, whoever wants to receive the services can stay as long as they want to. NA calls itself a spiritual program, recovery from the disease addiction. This is something I liked about the program. It is a program their influences on developing and working relationship with a higher power. The literature suggests that the members get their own personal understanding of a higher power. The only suggested guidelines are that this power be loving, caring, and greater than the one's self and more powerful than the disease of addiction. Members are given absolute freedom in coming to an understanding of the higher power that works for them. Individuals from various spiritual and religious backgrounds, as well as many atheists and agnostics, have developed a relationship with their own higher power. Narcotics Anonymous also makes frequent use of the word God, and some members who have difficulty with this term substitute high power or read it as an acronym for good orderly directions. I like I came across some NA quotes that I really liked, and it was one of them was recovery delivers everything drugs promised. Relapse starts long before the drug is used. NA is not for people who need it, it's for people who want it. Even my worst day in recovery is better than my best day using. The smartest thing an NA member can say is help me. NA has also produced dozens of information pamphlets and questionnaires for those who think they may have a drug problem and information for those addicts trying to stay clean while still inside hospitals or institutes. The 12 steps of NA program are based upon spiritual principles, three which are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. These three are hardly exhaustive. The basic text of NA says in chapter 4, in reference to all 12 steps, these are the principles which made our recovery possible. According to NA members, these principles, when followed to the best of one's ability, allow for a new way of life, just for today. NA members often tell themselves a series of just for today to remove the pain of the past and fear of the future. Just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program and follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new association, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear. Just for today. Thank you.